The show is about to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is Don't Fear Grit with Rob Taormina. Marketing strategies and advertising technologies to help you build a better business.
Hey guys, and welcome back to DFG, the only show that matters on all of the interweb. And we've got a really special guest in studio. We got a friend, an old friend actually. I've known you for a while. Melissa Firpo, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Rob?
I am doing well. Thanks for coming out here. I guess just give everyone some context. Let them know who you are, sort of like what you're an expert in, and we're going to be talking about some of the celebrity stuff that she's been involved with. Hopefully that's okay. I'm going to put you on the hot seat if that's all right.
I love the hot seat. There's nowhere else I'd rather be.
Awesome. So go ahead, Melissa, let them know who you are and what you're doing.
Okay, so chef of like 25 years, personal chef now, worked in restaurants for years, health coach, little bit help people at the gym, a little bit there. And that's basically what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
cooking.
you
Lots of cooking.
you live a pretty cool life. Like you do a lot of really cool things. And since I've known you, you've been like the chef, right?
Yes.
So you grew up on my wife's court, right? The famous court. I won't mention it just in case all of our
Yeah.
lovely friends there
Right.
don't want to remain anonymous, but
Knocks at their doors next week.
exactly. But you were always known as the chef,
Yes.
right? From an early on, like that was your career path, right?
Yes,
You went to school to it?
Yeah,
Okay.
went to culinary school at the time, got an associate's degree, was a culinary teacher in Manhattan on 14th and 7th. So I've been doing it 4 years.
Wow.
Worked in Manhattan at all the Michelin-starred restaurants.
Oh my gosh.
And then worked on the island with a bunch of Scotto Brothers, Bolsons.
Yes.
All the big names on the island. Owned my own gourmet deli for years.
So a ton of experience here.
Yeah.
Okay. So the restaurant world is known as being a high stress environment. It's not everyone is cut out to be a chef in a restaurant. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be a chef. And like, once they know, like, versus the hours and the hostility, people are like, oh, I didn't know it was not just cooking, right? Right.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit, for those that are not familiar with the sort of the back end world, like the secret behind the door curtain stuff. Like, let's peel it off for a second. Let people know, like, what goes on in that kitchen of a restaurant to make everything as good as it is on the floor.
I think it does depend on if you want to say caliber kitchen you're working in. So a Michelin-star kitchen is going to be different than if you're working at the diner or if you're working at a local mom and pop type restaurant. You know, it depends.
Yeah.
But basically it's about 121 hour weeks that I worked, all holidays. And it's hot.
Is it really?
Oh boy, is it hot. I think my thermometer would go up to about 165 degrees. So
Oh my gosh.
there is a learning curve there, I guess a heat acclimation curve there.
Yeah.
When you see somebody that's new, or for instance, you would get culinary students to come in and do their hours. You know, me and the guys, we'd look, it'd be July, it'd be about 130 at 9 a.m. in the morning. And, you know, you see
regretting all life's choices.
Right. And then you see the person it's a glaze.
Oh, is that right?
And they start to zone.
Oh my gosh.
And then you're like, all right, get them the ice.
Right. Get them some
side
water.
Towel around their neck
Yes.
and a picture of what, you know, it's crazy. There's no breaks. There's no lunch break.
Oh my
there's no
gosh.
benefits, health benefits.
Yeah.
There's no, you know, you're running and you're in charge of your station.
Yeah.
So in Michelin-star restaurants, you know what you have to do.
Yeah.
You get in at the appropriate time to get it done. You ask how many covers there are that night. Are there 200? Are there 400? You prep what you have to prep out, as much as you have to, or as much as in the walk-in. And then dinner service starts at, 7. And then in the Michelin-star restaurants, at least when I worked in them, there are no dupes. You know, the machines with the tickets. You have a crazy European chef standing there ordering, 5 egg roll followed by, 1 steak, 1 medium rare followed by 2, blah, blah, and you got to keep track of it. And if you don't, you run around the front with a marker and go and keep it's all on you.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a lot.
So why on earth would you ever want to do that? That sounds awful.
You know what? It was like, there are no women.
Okay.
I worked with one woman.
Okay.
I worked with one girl. In the 25 years, it's all men. So I think, you don't. So you start off easy. You start off in salads. They
Okay.
don't put you on
Right,
meat and
right,
fish
right,
in
right,
the
right.
beginning. So I don't know. I think for me it was a challenge.
Yeah.
It was kind of like all these men standing there, and
Yeah.
why aren't there any women? You know,
Sure.
the women were in pastry,
Mhm.
where it doesn't get hot. It's it's
I
like
gotcha.
a heart surgeon.
You
and
didn't want
brain
that.
cell- No, I didn't.
Yeah.
It was too precise.
Mm.
If it's off, it doesn't rise.
Okay.
It doesn't. Oh, please! I can't
Yeah.
stand bacon. Where me, if it doesn't taste
Yeah.
right, I can fix it.
Sure.
There's always something I could do.
Yes.
It's more creative. I
Yeah.
feel like on that end, where the pastry is more decorative.
Right.
I don't want to decorate it.
I gotcha.
So yeah,
All right.
so it I don't know. I just
Yeah.
liked it. I wasn't scared of it.
Okay. Scared of the cooking, and you weren't scared of the environment. You weren't scared of the pressure being the only woman in that space. Like you didn't mind any of that.
Because after you showed me what to do, I was the best one in there.
Is that right?
So
Wow.
I got
Wow.
jobs, whatever job I wanted.
Yeah.
After.
I gotcha. All right. So, all right, let's talk about something here. You were on a pretty famous show, right?
Yes.
Are you allowed to talk about it?
Yeah.
That's okay. All right. So you were on Gordon Ramsay's show, right? Hell's
Yes.
Kitchen,
Yeah, season 3.
season 3. So one of the earlier seasons.
Years ago.
And I know we've talked off camera about your experience there, but I want everyone to be able to hear about your experience, like from the very beginning to the end, because I think it's number one, it's not what people think now,
No.
right? But all right, does he actually yell at you?
Yes.
So, all right, so that's real.
Yes.
Okay, so he's really screaming at you
Oh
guys.
yeah.
Okay, and then like the people that's cooking to try to advance in the show, like, are they genuinely like nervous when he's around?
I think they are, but I think I think if you worked in kitchens and you have a history of that, truly have a history of that, you're used to the yelling. Because
Oh,
that's
interesting.
all there is in kitchens. If you do something wrong, for instance, in a kitchen, European chefs are crazy. They just are. Not that they're crazy. They have their own way. They want it done their own way. So, for instance, let's say a chef told you, take this fork, put it down on the table here, then pick it up 5 minutes later and put it down here, and then pick it up 5 minutes later and put it down there. Don't ask questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Just do it.
Right. Okay.
If you ask questions or don't do it,
Yes.
then in a natural kitchen, you're going to get yelled at because your way is not better than the chef's way. Don't pick up the fork and just go put it over there. Even though you could,
Yes.
don't do it.
But I would imagine that a lot of people are still arrogant about that stuff,
And then
that's
they get yelled at and they get thrown out of the
right.
kitchen.
Right. Okay.
Don't talk, don't answer
Right.
back. It's yes, chef. And
Yeah.
that's it all day.
So in that environment, though, you have to be confident, right? So, but there's a difference between confidence and arrogance.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, can we talk about that? Because I think your experience is really good for a lot of people that watch and listen to the show, because I don't think anyone is going to be in as hostile and stressful as an environment as you are when you're in a restaurant, right?
Absolutely.
So I think a lot of people can learn from this. What is that difference between confidence and arrogance? How do you balance the two? How do you lead? Like you're in a tough position, right? Like, elephant in the room. You're a woman in sort of a kitchen where there's a lot of men. So you're already working against that in a way, right?
Against the grain.
Right. And now on top of it, you're in an environment where it's so hostile as well. So how do you make your voice known without coming across as arrogant?
In kitchens, I think that's the difference. I don't think you need to have your voice known. I think you just you're there. What station are you on? And do it. You have to learn you don't speak in kitchens. The chef tells you, yes, chef. If you do it all, it comes out pristine. You're on top of the game. With the men in the kitchen, I used to have to carry up 25-pound bags of flour from the basement because typically in Manhattan, everything's in the basement and the restaurant's up here.
Yeah.
So you're up, down, up, down. Once the men see you carry it 2 or 3 times or you get cut and you start bleeding and you're not crying or you're not fainting at 160 degrees, they all gain a level of respect for you. Before that point in time, you do have to prove yourself. If you don't want to and it's not for you, get out of the kitchen.
I love it. That's actually like
if
a meme
it's
right there.
too hot,
That's
if
great.
You can't take the heat. Get out of the kitchen.
We're gonna clip that one. That's great.
But once they say, "Oh, look, she's trucking up a 25-pound bag of flour,"
Yeah, you earn their respect.
You earn respect, and then you never have to pick up. I never had to pick up another bag of flour.
Is that
again.
right?
Nothing.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Do you?" In fact, they would get things for me.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, Melissa, I know you needed the chicken. I was down there. I got you the 40 pounds of chicken you needed to fillet.
Right. Because you
Never
earned
again.
it.
You earn it.
Interesting.
Same with the chef.
Yeah, that's
Just
really
shut
good
up, do
advice.
your job. You can't be the type of person that's going to, listen, shut up, do your job. You'll get moved up. When you're sous chef, then you get more response. You could speak more. If that's not for you, get out of the kitchen. You're not going to do well.
Right. So was there ever a time that, whether it, you don't have to name the restaurant if you don't want to, or the environment. Was there ever a time though where you were like, this is a lot. This is getting to the point where it might be too much. Like this is not the environment I want to be in.
No.
Really? So you were really jazzed about this stuff.
I just was good at it.
Yeah.
And I kept moving up and I kept making more money.
Oh, wow.
Back then.
That's a
don't know
motivator, I
what-
guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Money was always a motivator.
Yeah.
So and then I was able to work at any restaurant I wanted.
Wow.
Not many people could say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
I
true.
just excelled at it.
Yeah.
So I kept with it.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't daunting to me.
Yes. So tell us a story how you got on the show.
That's funny. So my mother was watching Hell's Kitchen, and I would come out on weekends, and she'd be like, you got to see this new show, because reality TV didn't exist. And I would watch it and say, something's wrong. This just doesn't happen in the real world. Different things. And then I was applying for Gordon Ramsay's new restaurant, London NYC, on Craigslist. And right underneath it, it said, apply for Hell's Kitchen, the TV show. And I said, oh, whatever. And I don't know why I sent my resume. It was a click of a button.
Yeah.
But I did.
Because it was easy.
It was easy.
Yeah.
If you would have said to me, when you send this, you're going to be on the show, I would have never sent it.
Really?
I didn't want to be on the show. No, because it looked like something was just off.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And like, why do I want to be on a cooking show?
Yeah.
I'm cooking in Boulay or David Burke and Donna. I'm at the top of the top. Why
Yeah.
do I want, I don't know.
Well,
It
on
just-
that subject, real quick. So what was back then the reputation that Gordon Ramsay's TV show had amongst like legit chefs? Were they like, no, I'm not touching that. I have to have too much pride. I'm a purist.
I don't-
Or did it have a good reputation?
I don't think the reality TV game was out long enough to even have that opinion yet.
Okay.
Now, a lot of chefs would have that opinion. It's been out, but it was brand new. So really what it was doing was showing the outside world a glimpse of what it was like to
Yeah.
be in the back of a restaurant. Because all that yelling and screaming is true. That does happen all day long. That's all that happens
Really?
with European chefs. Absolutely. They
So,
scream.
so there are chefs that are screaming, it's raw, like his famous line.
100%.
Really?
Oh, screaming all day long. It almost comes like, remember Peanuts? Womp, womp,
Yeah.
womp, womp, womp.
No.
You just get, if they're addressing you,
Yeah.
what do you want? A hot plate, something
Right.
cooked.
Just get to
What
the
do you
point,
want?
right?
And then the rest becomes noise.
Wow.
If not, I don't
Yeah.
know how you'd work.
So you developed this skill of being able to tune a lot of that other stuff out and just zeroing in on
While
what I
they're
need to do.
screaming at two,
Oh,
three
wow.
other people, I got to keep going.
Yeah.
I can't be involved.
Yeah. Yeah. That building that level of like resilience is huge, I would imagine. All right. So you applied to the show, not thinking that you were going to get in. You didn't even really want to, but because of how easy it was, you applied to the show. And then what happens next?
They called me for an interview. Twin Talent, an agency, called me into Manhattan, skipped all the lines, all the mishmash.
When you say lines, like how long was this
They're,
line?
when they called me, they're like, we want to interview you for the show. I actually was away on vacation in Arizona. I'm like, who is this? I forgot that I even sent
You're
in
kidding.
I forgot about it.
my
It
gosh.
must have been 2 months later, a month later.
Yeah. Okay.
I go, well, I'm not waiting on any line. Like, I don't want to be
Yeah.
on the show. Like, I'm not, you
Yeah.
know, what's the process? And they're
Right.
like, no, don't worry. We're an agency. You're just going to come to this address. I already lived in the city.
Yeah.
And then I went, made an appointment, went, and there was like 4 or 5 city block lines
Filled with people? Oh my gosh.
waiting.
So was that like when you pulled up and you see this?
They
was
said
it?
just walk up the stoop and pass all the lines and give the guy your name. Like a club.
You must have felt pretty good though. You get to bypass
Well, I
that whole
would've
line,
never-
right?
I would have walked away.
Really?
There's no way I was waiting for that.
Okay.
It's not something, you know, these people wanted to be on the show.
Yes.
I didn't necessarily want to be on the show.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. So you bypass the lines. You go into this building, right?
Yep. And they interviewed. They said, okay, we got to make a videotape for Fox.
So they did a taping immediately.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And they interviewed me. Never saw a knife skill. Looked at my resume.
But what were they taping then?
They were just taping, where did you work?
Really?
Yeah, that type of thing. What's your experience?
Interesting.
How long have you been doing it?
Nothing about cooking.
I never picked up a knife the whole interview process.
Not once. So
Not once.
They never learned whether or not you actually could cook.
No, I'm going to say it's based on looks and personality.
Wow.
On how they want the cast to end up.
Really?
That's my opinion.
Okay, so the nuttier you are, or the prettier you are, that's like you're golden then.
I would imagine so. Or if you're maybe a meek, they would like a meek. You know,
right.
They want to mix it up.
I see. Okay. But if you're just like run of the mill, average individual,
I don't think
you don't have a chance.
I don't think so. No.
Okay, I think we just disappointed a whole lot of people, but that's the truth.
No, I mean for that reality show.
Yes,
I think they were in awe. You know, I believe I came into the interview myself. I had a skull necklace on at the time. I had a crop top. I had cargo, army, khaki pants.
Did you intentionally try to dress for this interview?
No.
Like, oh, I know I'm going to wear this. I'm going to wear that.
I dressed just like I would if I had a day off.
So it was just you. You just showed up as you. Okay.
Black heels,
Gotcha.
My Gucci bag, my hair, my makeup.
Yeah.
And they're like, you work in kitchens? But I get that. I would get that anyway by the chefs.
Okay.
The chefs would laugh at me when I came for interviews.
Right. They probably didn't believe you, right?
No. I hand the
they were
resume.
like, this is
They'd look.
That's why I'm surprised that they didn't ask you to cook.
Well, the chefs do. They'll say, come in Saturday night at 6 and stage.
Right. All right.
Stage would be come in for free and let me see what you can do.
Oh, interesting.
It's called staging.
Staging? So that's an industry term?
Yeah.
So if I want to ever try to get a free meal in a restaurant, I could be like, I'm here for the staging?
Well, the chef would be like, yeah, come stage.
Really?
But then you'd have to cook in the back.
That's very cool. I can fake it till I make it.
Yeah. Fake it. I don't know. It's crazy. And they ask you to go on the line, not ever seeing the menu.
Really?
So you got to take the menu. I used to take the menu, depending what station they put.
You would study it beforehand, or?
Well, you don't get to study it, but they'll be like, you're going to be on fish tonight. Go work with Rob on fish.
Oh my gosh.
So I'd be like, hi, Rob, I'm Melissa.
Okay.
Let me see what's on your station.
Okay.
Show me. I'd write it down. Fish, chili, lime, salt, tricolored cauliflower, truffle oil.
Okay.
I'd write it down. That way when it's cold, I know what's going on.
I gotcha.
And you just have to wing it.
Really? Oh, geez.
And then after that, they either hired you or didn't.
Okay. But they didn't do that for this show, for Gordon Ramsay.
You never cooked one thing.
Okay. So they're talking to you, they're recording you as they're having this conversation with you.
And they send it into Fox.
And they just send that into Fox?
Yep.
Okay. So they sent this particular tape into Fox. You leave that building. What are you thinking in this moment? Are you thinking, I got this in the bag?
We'll be in contact with you within a month.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Okay. So they say we're going to be in contact with you in a month. You walk away. Are you thinking that they're still going to actually call?
No.
You're not at this point. You're like, this was fun. I got to come in.
Whatever.
Right. Okay. So the call, though, does come in.
Oh, it does.
Right?
It does.
So let's take it from there now. So the call comes in, right? And tell us.
Like you
what
made
happened?
it. They liked you. Production liked you. I believe I'm probably saying this out of order because it was so long ago, but next was some psychological testing.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, why would they do that?
Where I went to actually take it, if it was online or I physically had to go to a place, I forget. But I remember, I believe them telling me it was the police test to learn your personality type. And I guess to make sure that you're not insane and you're not going to take these knives and go stab
someone
on set,
Oh,
geez. You're not a lunatic.
All right. So where they are looking for some physical traits, they are at least trying to filter some people out that would be harmful to others. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you go through the psychological training.
And I guess they have to make sure what kind of personality trait you have because you could walk up to Ramsay, as a male or female and punch him clear in the jaw. After,
receiving that type of abuse. That's actually a good point. Now, let's go there for a second before you continue. I would imagine there has to be crazy security there because Gordon Ramsay on the show, he's cursing, he's threatening, he's really nasty, and that boils people a little bit. And I would imagine that's a stressful environment that is dangerous. There must be security for him there.
I know there were ambulances on site that we never saw. I could say there's about 200 crew hiding behind the walls that you never see, besides the cameramen. But by the point in time that you get to that and you're the 12 left, I think they have a clear view on who you are and that you're not going to do that. I think that's production's job way before, because there are tons of interviews. Yeah. There were even interviews with, let's say, Gordon Ramsay came up to you and screamed this close to you in your face. What would you do? You know, there was extensive interviewing process.
So do you feel like that going into the taping now of the actual show, that the crew, production, psychological stuff, like, were you prepared for that environment?
I was, because it seemed to me like it was like any other kitchen besides.
Oh, so it was familiar to you?
It was familiar.
Okay, I got you.
The yelling's familiar.
Okay.
And I felt safe with, I have to say, I felt safe with the whole cast that
you
I
did?
ended up with. Yes.
Okay.
I didn't fear anybody was crazy. Or,
Yeah. All right. So you got the call that they said, yes, we like you, right? At that point in time, what was the next steps that they outlined for you?
Those interviews.
Oh, yeah.
All those.
So it's lots of interviews?
Yeah.
So it wasn't just one?
No. It was
my goodness.
And blood work, I guess, to make sure that you were, didn't have any diseases or anything that would have
So medical evaluations, psychological evaluations. Holy cow, just to be on the show.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. And then you had to fly out and I don't remember, was it in New York or LA? You had to have a full-blown interview with the producers of Fox on like a set stage. That was intimidating.
Really?
And if you froze or couldn't get through it, you didn't get picked. And let me tell you something, my mouth has never been so dry in my entire life.
So you were a little nervous?
Oh my God, beyond.
Oh, really?
But I just focused on what they were asking me and went with it.
You did?
Yeah, you have to be personable.
Right.
You can't freeze on TV.
No. All right, so you get through all of these. This is like, I don't know,
months.
like becoming like an FBI agent.
Yeah,
like,
months.
It's like you must have been thinking at some point in time, like, what on earth am I doing?
Oh my God, I was like, I can't. I was like, Ma, really? You watched this, the only reason why I applied. So after that, they flew you to LA. There were 20. Then there were 15, and then you got picked.
Wow. All right. So you made the 15, you made the cut, and then do they make you like sign like crazy non-disclosures, secrecy stuff? Like, what is that like?
When you were down to the 12, I believe they handed out your contract because you were picked, and they said you had 48 hours, I believe, to sign it. Everybody, of course, was signing it at the table. And me, I'm like, I'm not signing that. I don't know what's in there. It was thick, really thick. So I was like, do you have a fax? And they're like, yeah, but it's $1.50 a page. I don't care how much it is a page. I faxed it to my lawyer. And then once he explained it to me, then I signed it.
Wow. Okay. So you sign this contract that even though the show makes probably hundreds of millions, they make you pay $1.50 a page, which is ridiculous if you think about it, right?
It. I didn't
of course. Care. Yeah. So, all right. So you signed the contract. At this point in time, have you met the other people on the show, the other contestants yet?
You meet them on set the day of taping.
Really?
Yeah, when they fly you to LA, you're in a separate hotel room and you're not allowed out.
Really?
Yeah, you become like
it's like you're kidnapped.
Yeah, you become kidnapped.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I wasn't tortured. They brought you room service. They let you for a half hour. You were allowed out of the room. I went to the gym.
So it's like jail.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in cooking jail, and so you're getting your half hour of personal time, I guess.
Then they blindfold you, put you in a car.
Oh, that's real? Like they legit blindfold. So you have no idea where you're going now.
No. They put you in a car.
Oh my gosh.
With other blindfolded contestants. I believe 2 or 3 were in the car with me.
Are you talking?
We could talk, yep.
Okay.
But we can't see each other.
Okay.
And then you arrive at your destination and they unblindfold you and you're on set. It's kind of like a Home Depot turned into a set.
Okay. Like this big warehouse. Okay.
But it doesn't look like a warehouse. It's got a door. It looks like a restaurant when you pull up to it.
Okay.
But in an industrial park.
I gotcha. So at this point now, you're a hostage.
They take away your phone.
Oh my gosh.
Your wallet.
No wonder there's all these psychological and medical evaluations, because they're putting you in an environment that you have like legitimate like FBI and Secret Service agents. They have to go through this just in case you're a hostage somewhere. And now sounds like you are a chef hostage.
You could quit though.
Right. Okay.
On camera.
But you have to do it on camera. Oh, wow. Okay.
That's in the contract.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So once you sign that contract, whatever happens from you walking in to you leaving, they own you.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right. So they blindfold you. It's unveiled. You get to walk in. You see this place, right? And I believe how the show, starts up. Oh no. Well, no. Is they one person at a time comes up, or was it everyone at once?
No, I believe we walked into the restaurant. We took a look around, and then they showed us upstairs, which is where we lived.
Okay. Now the intro to the show, because every season is a custom intro.
You don't know.
You have no
Until it
idea.
airs.
You have no idea.
No.
So when do they film that portion? You know how like everyone gets like their own personal little clip, whatever. Are they doing that before? Like
No idea.
you have no clue.
No.
Really?
You don't see any of that till the show airs months and months later.
You're kidding. So it's not like they were like, all right, we're going to be filming the intro now, guys. Here's your opportunity. We want you to do
that's
this.
all live TV. That's all natural.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I did not know that. Okay. So now you're walking in, it's taping. Now they start filming this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How long were the days, like when they were filming all of these things?
Long. From 4 a.m. to about 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
When would you sleep?
You didn't get much.
You're kidding.
That's the torture.
Oh, geez.
That's the crying and
Okay.
the reality that
Right.
comes out.
Okay. So, all right. So you got these unfortunate, like I feel bad now, but you have these people who there are no sleep. All right. And they're like, this is like physical job too. So
Yeah.
it's physically demanding, mentally demanding. So you're mentally tired, you're physically tired. Right. And, that's why people, I'm assuming, are starting to break.
And they mess with you. They ask you to do impossible things.
Like what?
So an example, when
Yeah.
he closes a dish, shut it down. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Okay. It's great. So when that happens with my experience, he would turn around. He used to call me, this never got to air, but
Okay.
he would call me Barbie.
Oh, is that right?
Call me Barbie.
Oh, okay.
So he'd be like, Barbie! He'd be like, no turbo on the menu tonight. I'd be on fish. No salmon, no turbo.
Was that your English accent, by the way?
That was.
Oh, that was good.
And he looked like a Shar-Pei. And his face, like the dog, the Shar-Pei dog when you yell?
Yeah.
He'd be like, no turbo, no salmon. I'd look at him. I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Why? Why are you making my life easy?
Yeah.
Something's up.
Yeah.
Bobby, you stupid. Did you not hear me? You're deaf. Are your tits too big? Like, he would fuck with me. And I'd be like, okay, no salmon, no turbo. 8 o'clock dinner service would start rolling. He'd turn around, be like, hey, Bobby, I have a VIP on table 12. I need a turbo and a salmon. Now, you have to realize they're not skinned. They're not descaled. They're whole fish in the back. That is not only wild, would never happen in the real world.
Why is that?
Because you have to fillet the fish now.
Oh, okay.
You got to prep the whole fish.
So all that stuff is typically in a restaurant prepped in advance.
Absolutely. Your portion size. Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I ran in the back.
Yeah.
Got the whole salmon.
Yeah.
Descaled it. Deskinned it. Filleted it.
Yeah.
He looked, because he doesn't know what you're capable of.
Yeah.
He shut the kitchen down. Every time you prevail at a task that's meant to make you fail,
Oh,
he shut it down.
it's almost like a camera reset in a way. Like cut.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
No.
So that's
So you're
interesting.
also mentally, like, you prevail, you fail. No matter what you do, you fail.
I gotcha. Okay. Now that's bringing to light those scenarios. But so I'm assuming now they're taking one scene and then cutting and pasting it so then it's married. But in reality, those two things probably happened far apart from each other.
Well, they happen as is, but they can cut and paste as they want.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So day one of the show, you're taping day one. Are there people that are you sort of like looking at the competition and be like,
you had
all
to
right,
do your dish. You had to submit a dish.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And you had to cook your dish and he had to taste it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. So you're cooking your signature dish.
Yes.
Right. So you got your signature dish. Are you sizing up the competition? No, like, are you be like, all right, you're good. You're not going to make it. Like,
Nope.
Not at all. No. So you're just laser focused.
'Cause I know it's subjective.
Oh,
You tasting my dish is subjective.
that's a good point. That's a really good point.
But you had to get it done within a half hour.
Oh, really?
You had times.
Right. So that makes sense. But like, sorry, for example, I know you don't eat meat because
Right.
you don't like meat, right? So if someone in that scenario, let's say you were Gordon Ramsay and someone now serves you, here's my signature dish, it's some type of meat, you'll be like, I don't like meat. It's subjective because it's going
subjective.
through. That's not fair then.
Well, that's why it's on the show.
Right. Okay.
Show's not fair.
I gotcha. All right. So you get through this day, you got your signature dish. Now you finish the day, shut it down type of thing, and now you're into the living quarters, right?
Yeah.
And they're filming this portion of it.
Always.
Right? Now
24 hours a day, except when you sleep, you're allowed to take your mic off.
only sleeping.
Only sleeping.
Oh my gosh.
And showering.
Okay. So you're in the quarters now. Some people are probably like really excited, right? And some people are probably arrogant, right? And some people are probably trying to get in people's heads.
I believe the boys were on one side and the girls were on the other side. So you're just asking, what do you do? Where do you work?
Right. Oh, small talk.
Small talk.
All
and
small.
then I started realizing, okay, this is why the show gets so hostile.
Oh, okay.
Because one girl was like, I sell stoves for Viking. I'm like, what do you do?
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah. I work in the Viking showroom. I sell stoves.
Oh my gosh. See, that stuff doesn't get aired. The audience is under the impression, here's all trained chefs. This is what they're doing as their job. They're in kitchens.
Yeah, I don't remember how they aired mine. Then another girl, Julia, I'll never forget Julia. She's out there. Hey, Julia. Sorry, girl, but she worked at Denny's, the breakfast place.
No.
Yeah. And these people are going to win a Michelin, supposedly.
Yeah.
A Michelin-starred restaurant in Vegas. Vegas has the most covers you can have in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Vegas. It surpasses New York City.
Does it really?
Yeah, because they're hotel restaurants.
Right.
So you get thousands and thousands
Right.
of people
Okay.
every day, breakfast,
Yes.
lunch, dinner. Not like if you're, on 42nd and 3rd in Manhattan. And she works at a Denny's. I said, oh, God, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble.
Yeah,
My patience is in trouble.
Yeah. So, I mean, that right there, I think we don't have to talk about anything else for us to understand now that there's an element to this that's scripted, because there's no way Gordon Ramsay is going to allow a Denny's waitress or whatever to be the head chef at one of his places.
That's what went through my mind.
There's no way. So then now you're thinking, all right, who are the real chefs that Gordon Ramsay's like, all right, I wouldn't mind this
But I'm
person.
not worried about the real chefs.
You're not.
I'm glad for the real chefs, because when I turn
interesting.
around to them and I'm like, where's the parsley, basil, and
Yes.
bee pollen?
Yes.
They're not going to look at me like, Julia, I asked to get me parsley. She brought me basil. Didn't even know the difference. Now, those are the people I'm worried about, because you're going to create havoc.
Oh, it's going to screw you up. It's also going to screw you up, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Double the work. It's not a teammate.
Right,
now.
right.
Now I don't have a teammate.
Right.
It's like being in a race and somebody not knowing how to run.
I gotcha. All right. So at any point in time, were you like, I definitely don't think I should have done this. Like, I wish I wasn't here. Or even though it was a crazy, crazy experience, looking back, you're like, no, I don't regret it at all. It was a lot of fun. And,
No, I don't regret it. It was fun. I'd never do it again.
because that was my next question. All right, right now you get a call from Gordon. We want you back on the show tomorrow.
No.
You're not doing it.
No way.
Wow.
But I mean, if they wanted a reunion show where we all ate
Well,
in Vegas
right.
and saw Circus du Soleil, I'd be more than happy.
Right.
Or if the Food Network called me up
Correct.
and was like,
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
do,
Yeah.
30-minute meals.
Yeah.
Rachel Ray's retired.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I gotcha. But
I'm
you don't
running.
you don't want to subject yourself to that whole same process that you did before.
Absolutely not.
Right. Okay. All right. That's interesting. So what do you think from this environment? Now, earlier on, I was saying, like, we got entrepreneurs and whatnot that watch this. And I genuinely, now talking with you, I am a firm believer in this. I don't think there's any other more hostile more difficult environment than working at at a kitchen, the way that you've just described.
Yeah, tough.
This is
yeah, it's tough.
That's a tough environment,
It's
right?
tough industry.
So I think number one, I think entrepreneurs that get to just, are these like, and especially now, you got these like solopreneurs that they're working from home, right? They've got nothing to complain about compared to what you have to do to be able to really fight and grind it out there to make yourself known. So that's one thing. But two, let's get into this really important topic that it really is supposed to be the theme of the show. But by the way, I love this conversation here. You're great on camera, and you got really cool stories, by the way. And I think people are gonna love it.
I have lots of stories.
Oh boy,
lots of stories.
Yeah, this is gonna be like a tell-all, by the way. Gordon Ramsay, Hell's Kitchen tell-all, right? But so we've got this crazy environment now. I'm assuming earlier on in your career you were working a lot, right?
Yes.
And like long hours. Now, can you have a healthy balance in life where you can be very ambitious and you can want to be gritty, right? Like the show says, and have all those ambitious dreams. And can you work hard, but also have a healthy sort of like lifestyle and eat well and exercise? Like, and if so, how? Like, what's the secret in doing this? Because as you pointed out, earlier on in your career, it's a lot of hours working, right?
It's a lot of hours.
So how do you create that balance between healthy lifestyle, but also still pursuing your dreams of being a successful entrepreneur?
I think the healthy lifestyle, you just have to be committed. It's another job. I mean, quite frankly, it is. That's the way I think of it. So I would say nutrition is your number one thing. If you could work out at the gym all day long, if your nutrition is off or you're eating unhealthy or everybody's body performs differently to fat, carbs, protein, so on and so forth. The only way I could explain that to the audience is, for instance, when I went vegan for 2 years, I remember saying this. I go, I am going to be the skinniest bitch there is. Like kingdom come. I see all these skinny bloggers and YouTubers and everything with the, high carb Hannah and all these people. And they are, the size I was looking to be. I gained 50 pounds. When I went vegan, I gained 50 pounds.
Really?
I had to add fish back in to lose the 50 because my body does not process those carbs the way high carb Hannah does.
Right. So it's not a one size fits all these things.
It's not a one size fits all.
So that's a big myth then, because I know, and I didn't even know this, right? Because I know that a lot of people will sell these diets and programs thinking you can do this and anyone can do it and they'll get the same results. But based on what you're saying,
it's not true.
It's not true.
Yep.
Oh, that is really interesting.
So
okay.
You have to find, so I obviously found out that high carbs, because vegan is naturally high carbs. Beans, rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes. That's what you're eating. Okay. Oatmeal. Now, don't get me wrong. It's all healthy, right?
Sure.
Lentils, beans. It's all healthy, but I blew up like a balloon. Like a balloon.
Interesting. Okay.
So
you got the opposite result that you wanted.
100%.
Okay.
So I said, okay, now I need protein in order to lose all this weight I gained.
Yeah.
So I did, and I lost it. So you have to find your right nutrition for your body to get to the goal that you want, and then add in the gym. And the gym is a job. If you are not consistent, you are not going to see results. And that doesn't mean that you have to be a bodybuilder at the end of this. But whatever results you're looking for, you have to be consistent.
I like that. So be consistent, be intentional, right? And then
it's a job.
And then
you got to go every day.
Yeah.
You got to say, this is the hour. This, unless you're sick. I won't go if I'm sick.
Yeah.
Besides that, I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
I used to go 7 days a week when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I'm semi-retired, as I like to say. And I only go Monday through Thursday now.
Okay. I gotcha. Now, that creating a healthier lifestyle that includes better intake and exercise, do you think that also helps with your minds and energy?
Absolutely.
Because those are two things that obviously people in thought leaders and entrepreneurs, like, they need that. They need energy. They need their mind to be sharp. So if that's what their end goal is, can healthy eating and exercise help that person get there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It can. So then if it can help you get there, then it makes it important.
Absolutely.
Right? And we need to prioritize things that are important in our lives.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And I think a lot of people hold off on that until they get a little bit older. Let's say late 40s,
Yes.
maybe early 50s.
Yep.
And they have diabetes or they have high blood pressure. And then they come to me and they're like, I've hit my plateau. I can't do it anymore.
Right.
I got to change. What do I do?
Right. That actually, you're making a really good point here. Let's talk about that for a second, because you're right. People early on are of the mindset of, I can do that later, not realizing that
It's work. I don't want to do it.
Right. But now you're creating a much riskier environment. Now it's not just a matter of, just like healthier eating and just basic exercise. Now you need a serious medical plan to help combat, like you were saying, diabetes or whatever the case may be. And you've also developed a really great niche. Now, I know for people that don't know, you are a personal chef as well, right? And you have part of what you do, and I know this is not the only thing, but is that you create really great meals and meal plans for people that have serious illnesses like cancer. And that's huge, and that's not a space I think that a lot of people are able to get in. Obviously, you've got the experience and the knowledge to be able to really come alongside someone, because it's not just about saying like, eat a salad, you have cancer, eat a salad. It's more complicated than that. And you understand the science, right? So share with us a little bit about that. Like, how did you get into helping people like that? And what type of benefits are you seeing people who have these illnesses experience after now they've been working with you?
I will say it's not a huge group of people, obviously. How did I get into it? I was cooking for my regular clients, and they had mentioned to me that a good friend of them had had cancer. She was mom of 3 and was just so tired from her treatments that she couldn't cook, and she needed food for her family. Could I help her? So when she ended up calling me, I said, I just want to mention this, take it with a grain of salt. But have you ever heard of, the theory of your body being acidic versus alkaline? And she had, but she really didn't know about it too much about it. So I had explained to her, if you'd like me to do one meal, just one maybe for you specifically, we could, it is strict. It is not easy. It's very limited. But if you'd like to try that, that's something I could do for you. And she was willing to do it. So that's how I got started with it, and then word of mouth.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, and so I guess just like in the kitchen,
and it's very strict. It's basically a raw diet.
The diets are very strict, you're saying, for that environment.
For that environment, yeah.
I gotcha.
It's a raw vegan.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So part of, I guess,
but people have been cured. I'm not a doctor.
Yes.
And but I do know clients that have gone alkaline.
Yeah.
And
seen a good result.
And
So you have, you've worked with a lot of different people. You've seen it all, right? Whether it be the restaurant world or now, being a personal chef for people. I love the fact that something that's unique about what you're doing is you're not just a personal chef making random things for people. You're really custom tailoring a menu to the individual based on their needs and wants.
Yes.
Right? So talk a little bit about that process, because I know that there's a lot of people who would love that, by the way,
absolutely.
right? Like, so I'm assuming like when you meet someone and they learn about what you do, their eyes probably like light up. They're like, oh my gosh, that is amazing.
I've been looking for you. I didn't know you existed.
Right.
That type of thing. So they will come to me with their needs and wants, dietary restrictions or not. I'll come up with a menu for them, personalized to what they like or what they need, and create it. They'll pick their meals. I'll send the menu to them. They'll pick their meals. Then I'll send them a grocery list. They'll send me the groceries. I cook it and deliver it.
Wow. Okay. Are you doing this for like catered events, or are you doing this?
These are for personal meal, like family. They're all in half trays.
Oh, is that right?
So it's usually for a family, and depending on what you order. the half tray will last you more than one night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's
Incredible.
for the week.
Yeah, gotcha.
You
Now this type of service, it sounds like no one can touch it because this is a highly personalized experience. So this is for a certain type of individual, I'm assuming.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I get single people, I get families, I get women that just want food for their kids. Their kids will only eat chicken fingers. They
Right.
don't want the frozen ones.
Right.
And the Kraft mac and cheese. Can you please make it homemade and
Yeah.
deliver it to my house?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
You're like, I'm going to come to your rescue.
Yes.
Yes, you're like a chef superhero.
Yes.
One of the Avengers, I guess. maybe it's a new comic book character they
Yes.
can create. Yeah.
Wonder Woman. I want a good one though, like that Blue Girl or something.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. That'd be awesome. Now, all right, so you're a chef. You're doing this for a lot of people, right? And you're creating these custom food experiences for families. Now, do you do the same thing, the same amount of effort for your kids?
I do.
I'm putting you on the spot here.
I do.
Do you really?
Yes, I
Wow. Okay.
do. My daughter, my son won't eat anything. He's that
Yeah.
chicken finger,
Yeah.
Kraft mac.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll make chicken cutlets for him, but they're homemade.
Okay.
You know, they eat lots of vegetables,
Okay.
lots of fruit. But my daughter is really the culinary guru. She'll be like, Mom, I want the empanadas that you made for that client. Okay.
Wow.
And I'll make it. Yes. So
Okay.
every week I will make a meal or two, usually on a Monday, a full meal of what, everybody wants or whatever. And that'll be for the week.
Oh, wow.
So they'll have two and then they'll eat it and then I'll make
Okay.
something else.
Yeah, it must be nice to have a mom that can, cook high
Yes,
end. Like you
whatever
have
they want. And then
you have a
she'll be,
Michelin restaurant quality chef for a mom.
Mom, I want a yogurt parfait. Yeah, she asks me for
Okay.
absolute birria tacos.
She's becoming a little bit of a food snob,
She
huh?
is. She
Wow.
is.
Okay.
She is.
Wow.
Yeah, so she goes to a birthday party and
Yeah.
it's like chicken nuggets and pizza.
She's like, I'm not having that.
She won't eat it.
You're kidding.
No.
Wow.
I mean,
All right.
she won't be rude.
Right.
But she'll just be like, Mom, can we eat before the birthday party? Because it's going to
Really?
be
So
like,
she's developed this
she won't
refined
eat
taste.
McDonald's. She won't eat
Wow.
any of
that's
that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. My son, McDonald's all the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Total
Oh, yeah.
opposite.
So I have one of my closest friends. His daughter it sounds like a lot like your daughter, and she's just he subjected her to high end food right early on, and she just acquired this taste for just really good high end stuff.
Yep.
And I told him, I'm like, it's your own fault.
Absolutely.
You're the one who introduced this stuff to her, and now this is she loves it.
But you know what, too? I myself won't eat any other way.
Yes. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So really, I wasn't naturally doing it just for them. I was really more doing it for myself.
Gotcha.
And they fell into the rabbit hole.
Yes. Yes.
Because I don't eat fast food.
Gotcha.
I don't
Gotcha.
eat a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
I don't eat, they could have as much as they want. They're young. But I don't eat it.
Yeah.
So naturally,
Okay. All right. So you think, you said it yourself. You said it's really important for, people who have busy lives and for entrepreneurs and leaders and everyone, they should be intentional and put some effort into also creating a healthy personal lifestyle because that'll benefit their work.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean,
Okay.
you are what you eat, right?
Right.
I mean, that's what
Yeah.
they say. You
Yeah.
are what you eat. And you could only eat so unhealthy for so long. It catches up
to you.
99% of the population.
Interesting.
In your late 30s, 40s,
Sure.
50s.
Sure.
They all come to me.
Yeah, they do.
And they're like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel like it's harder
Okay.
when you're in your 40s and your 50s to
Yes.
get set with that routine. Rather than I've been doing it my whole life, honestly. I've been at the gym, working out, doing,
Yeah.
all different things.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a lifestyle. It becomes a lifestyle
Yeah.
more than anything else.
Gotcha.
So it's good to start earlier. That
Yeah.
way it doesn't become such a
Right.
overwhelming job.
Right. But for the people that haven't started yet and they are a little bit older, let's just say, it's not too late. Everyone's still, there's always still an
just
opportunity.
Pick an intention.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you don't, like I said, you don't have to go to the gym and, you know, get a 6-pack.
Yeah.
You just have an intention. You know what? I need some cardio to be heart healthy. And I'm just, you know, come spring, every night, I'm going to walk for 20 minutes. Yeah.
You know, I don't know if this is sort of an angle that you have specifically, but like really a great all right, so I'm in marketing, right? So I'm hearing your story and my angle would be something along the lines of like, you know, you're not just cooking food that tastes good, you're cooking food to make someone healthy, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know of a lot of people that actually do that, where it's a chef that really takes into consideration the individual, not just, oh, I want to eat this, I want to eat a burger, right? You're not just thinking about that. You're thinking, all right, what's your health life right now, right? What do you want your health life to be down the road? It's almost like when you talk to a financial advisor, the financial advisor says, all right, how much money do you want to retire with? And you're like, I want to retire with $10 million. And then they work backwards. They're like, all right, let's create a plan based on that. It sounds like you're doing the same thing as a chef advisor, right? And you're like, all right, this is what you want to look like, right? This is what your tastes are like. All right, we're going to create a plan for you that's going to allow it to taste good, but it's going to help you to get there.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And a lot of people do come to me with goals. So, you know, a lot of my clients are goal oriented.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like I said, by the time they come to me, they're kind of lost. A lot of them are. And they're like, well, what do I do now? How do I get there? Yeah. Yeah.
Do you work with any like personal trainers as well? Like to complement maybe what they're doing?
Yes, I could, if that's something that they wanted.
Yeah. 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 Because I see that as being a huge asset to personal trainers, where, you know, they really understand the gym, right? And if you teamed up with personal trainers, we're talking about you can create Arnold Schwarzenegger all the time with people. You know what I mean?
That's your goal, absolutely.
Right. Amazing. Okay. Very, very cool. So if people are listening right now and they're like, I need Melissa Firpo to start cooking for me, and I just want to have because you're very knowledgeable on this stuff. You're like a chef scientist. So if people want to get in touch with you and they want to have that initial conversation, how can they do that?
I would assume either Facebook.
Okay.
Or TikTok.
Okay. So they can find you, Melissa Firpo?
Melissa Firpo on Facebook, Healthy Chef 1 on TikTok.
On TikTok. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put you a little bit on the weird question hot seat for a moment. Is that okay?
I love it.
Okay. And so I've got a question for you, and I have a feeling that you're not going to like this one.
All right.
But if you're going to cheat food-wise on anything, right? What is it going to be? And tell us the truth.
No, I will.
Have you ever had a McDonald's Big Mac?
No, I've never had a Big Mac. I've never ate Taco Bell.
What?
I've never had Wendy's. Ever.
So you don't know what you're missing out on.
I don't. I don't. And if I'm going to cheat, it's going to be dessert.
Oh, really?
Sugar.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, my God. I love
That's your
sugar.
weakness.
I love it.
Okay, I got you. Like, are you like a chocolate girl or?
What am I? I'm like an Italian pastry
Oh,
cake.
Okay.
Maybe, you know, like a bakery.
Yeah.
Donut.
Okay.
That type of thing.
So, have you ever like you're driving home, you're like, no one knows, right? No one's gonna see me. I'm stopping in at the bakery. Come on. You can tell the truth.
No,
no weakness there.
And this is me. This is just a personal thing. Skinny for me, or the weight I am, how I look is better than the donut.
Oh.
I love the donut, don't get me wrong. But when I get dressed and I like to wear, I don't know, a specific outfit or a cat suit in the winter, whatever it is, I like to look a certain way. I've always been that way. So the food doesn't overpower the, and then here's the other thing. I go to the gym so much and works. Like when I'm one of those people that go to the gym that you're like, I work hard.
You do.
And intentional. If
gotcha.
I ate like that, the biggest thing that pisses me off, in fact, I just started changing my routine up, is because I work so hard not to see a result. If I'm not seeing major results, I get annoyed. All that work For what? Just to look the same way? I need my muscle cutting a little bit. I need to work on I don't have a 6-pack or anything, but I said, you know what? I think I want to start to work on, like I need intentional gain from the work that I do.
Yeah.
So the food, when I look at that food, I think of no gain then. You just worked an hour and a half sweating at the gym, bench pressing or squatting 200 pounds, and now you're going to eat the Dunkin' Donut and it's all for nothing.
It pisses you off.
It pisses me off.
This little monologue is amazing. This is, I think, my favorite part so far of our discussion, because you just hit on an element of mindset, right? That is so important. Is number one is the importance of creating a priority list. What's more important to you? Right?
Which is hard.
It is. That's what I was just about to say.
Hard because
so
people
hard.
love to eat. And like, I'm a chef.
Yes,
I cater to people who love to eat. Eating is like, right? It's like that comfort. It's social. It makes people, if people are stressed, they could stress eat.
Yeah.
If people are happy, they happy eat. I mean, there's so many elements to eating in our culture.
Yeah.
So,
but you're not suggesting not to eat,
no.
right? You're talking about just a healthy eating habits, eating habits,
but most
right?
food isn't healthy. Most food that Americans like to eat is not healthy. Hamburgers with cheese and
all this
bacon
processed
are
stuff.
not healthy.
Right.
Everything that comes in a bag, traditionally, I eat it. I'm not saying I don't.
Yeah.
But it's not healthy.
Right.
None of that is healthy.
But you said something amazing, and you said, this other goal of mine, the way I look is more important than that donuts. And I think that's in life. We've got to get to a place in life where we're making those decisions for ourselves now, where we got to say, you know what? This that I'm shooting for is more important than the thing that I'm doing now, right? The thing that I'm doing now is just either going to make it much harder for me to accomplish what I want to accomplish. That donuts is going to make my goal of losing weight so much further out now. Now I've got to work out even more, right? Yeah. You got to just figure out in your head, be like, what's more important? And just be stubborn about committing to that, right?
Yeah. I mean, and of course there's different levels of it. Like personally, I like to go into a store, and if I'm going to go shopping for clothes, I like to know that if I like that pair of pants, it's going to look good on me.
Yeah.
And when you're a certain size, it's almost like anything, basically. It's not going to be too tight, or this isn't going to, and that just, I like that.
Yeah.
Like, that makes me happy.
Right.
Whereas someone else could not care, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. It doesn't have to be that extreme.
Right.
But that's why I'm the health coach.
Right.
Because I'm extreme.
Yeah.
I would consider my eating regimen and workout regimen on the extreme side.
Right.
Not bodybuilding. That's super extreme.
Yeah.
But I'd say a step down.
Right.
It's extreme.
Right.
Like, I eat low carb, low sugar, low fat.
Right. But that's your choice, right?
That's my choice.
Right. You made a decision. This is what I want, and this is the right sort of regimen for me.
Yes.
You're not saying this is the right regimen for anyone else, right? This is custom tailored for you.
Yes.
Right. So if people are listening, or if they watch the show and they're like, oh, I want a result, but there's no way I have the time. You're like, all right, you don't have to do what I'm doing. Right.
Correct.
Yeah. So I think
you have to do some sort of
you have to
cardio.
do something.
Right. And you know what? It depends on what your goal is.
Yeah.
If your goal is, I have high blood pressure, or I just gained 30 pounds over the winter, I want to lose some weight, then you're going to go for low fat, low carb, and cardio.
Yeah.
At this point in where I am, I don't need to lose any fat or so I go more weight training.
Oh, I got you.
Now, with slight cardio, just to be heart healthy.
Yeah.
So it really, like I said, it's catered to what your goal is and where you are.
Yeah. All right. 2 more questions, because you've already given us a lot of your time here, and I appreciate it. But 2 more questions for you. Number 1 is for the person that has this really great goal for themselves, right? They've got this amazing goal, and you can agree, like, oh, that's a wonderful goal. It could be, I want to lose this amount of weight, or I want to look a certain way based on my physique and get into the gym, and I want to exercise, or whatever the case may be. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the goal doesn't matter. But what matters is it's a big goal, right? And they're pretty far off from this particular goal right now. You know that most people don't want to put in that work. So what's the advice to the individual that says, I want the result, but I'm not willing to put in the work? Like, what would you say to that person?
I think slow and steady. wins the race in this. And I think that you cannot cut out everything. You know, this is, it's kind of parallel with, I will get a lot of clients that are looking for a goal, an extreme goal. And they'll say, I just want to look like you. Like, I just want my body to look. And I tell them we can do that. But first, I'll give them options. Pick what's easier for you. So, do you want to start off on the food range or the exercise range? We need both. But what would you, and if they're like, well, it's springtime, I'm going to a lot of barbecues and drinking up a store, I want to start with the exercise. Great. Every day, 7 days a week, I want you to get out and walk. And we start there. If they're like, you can't cut everything out today and do what I'm doing.
Right.
Day one, you're going to fail.
Right. And
because
quit.
you're going to get frustrated and you're going to quit.
Yes.
So whatever we pick, it has to become a lifestyle change.
Right.
I hate the word diet. Because diet means I'm on it now.
Temporary.
It's temporary. And tomorrow I'm going off of it.
Yeah.
That's not what I do.
Right.
Mine is a lifestyle.
Yes.
I work out this much. I do this. I eat this way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really change. Come summer, come my birthday, you know, come Christmas and Easter. And, you know, a lot of excuses get, you know, when you say diet, I'm going on vacation.
Yeah.
When I go on vacation, give or take, it stays the same.
Yeah.
Because it's a lifestyle.
Right. So basically, if you want a different result, you've got to change how you're going to get there.
Your lifestyle.
And it has to be permanent. So
we start slow.
See, that's important because that's hard for people, I think.
So hard.
Right? Because no one wants to run a marathon. Like there's very few marathon runners,
few.
Right? A lot of people are like, oh, I'll sprint. I'll do the 50-yard sprint or the 100-yard. That's for me, right? But life's a marathon, and that's the part that people don't get.
Yes.
And this is why I think a lot of people fall short of their goal and end up quitting.
And I think
because of what you're saying.
Yeah,
great
they
advice.
Take on too much at once. They go on Jenny Craig or they go on these Weight Watchers or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's so extreme.
Yes.
From where they've been.
Yes.
That they're like, they do it for a little and then they go off.
Okay.
And so,
all right.
Slow and steady.
Last question for you. Normally, I actually ask a question with regards to like some type of book that you read, but being that I have someone that is so well versed in restaurants and being a chef, I want to know, and because I know this would be interesting for a lot of people, is what is your favorite restaurant in Manhattan, and would you recommend that restaurant for people to try?
All right, give me a minute. Let me think. All right, so there are a lot of new ones out there that I have not been to. Okay, but historically, one that's just the status quo is Danielle. And it's only for a special occasion. It's pricey.
Yeah.
But I appreciate when they give me a dish, I know how it's made. And I know the time it takes to make the sauce, 2 days, or the stock, or the demi-glace, or the... So that's something I appreciate. Haven't been there in years, but I've always loved it. And you could pick a prefixed with wine. You're bombed by the time you get out. And they do the pairing.
Oh, wow.
And it's little dishes.
Wow.
And it's chef choy.
Oh my goodness.
It's delicious.
That's amazing. Have you ever been to Mr. Chow's in the city?
I have.
So that's like our go-to. We try to go there like at least once a year or something, like maybe twice a year for special stuff, because I don't know, there's some restaurants for us where the food is still great. The memory makes it even better. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And we have a couple places like that. And Mr. Chow's is one of those places where the food is great, right? But it's the memories that I think just makes everything sweeter.
Absolutely.
You know? So I guess I want to end on that. Is there a restaurant for you that, separate from the one that you just said, it could be anywhere in the world, one that was just such a great experience, great memory, and you feel like other people might be able to share in what you experienced?
I kind of like...
your personal kitchen, maybe.
Yeah, right. In Manhattan, I like David Burke and Donatella. I don't even know if they're still open. But that's really one of the first 4-star restaurants that hired me.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Is that right?
Yeah.
So all right. So there's nostalgia.
So I loved it.
Okay.
And then when I moved into Manhattan, I went there to work and they hired me. But that, I haven't been there in years, but it was a great restaurant. And I'm actually going to try Bad Roman this month. That's a new one in Warner Brother building that I heard is unbelievable.
Yeah.
There's so many. And I think 11 Madison Park went vegan. I want to try one of those. Like, I want to try a new vegan restaurant.
Yeah.
But there's so many.
There really are. And, you know, we live in a community around here too. I feel like the restaurants around here are really good. I mean, we're fortunate.
Maroni's.
Oh, yeah.
The tasting menu though, where the chef brings out whatever they want.
Yes,
I love that.
Yeah, we're you know, we've got a lot of good restaurants in this community. Yeah. Whether it be through you know, Smithtown going up to St. James, Nissaquag, like there's Stony Brook, like there's some really nice restaurants up here.
There's
always
choices,
and I almost feel like you can go to a new restaurant every single week, and for like 5 years, and still there'll be more out there. That's how many there are. So. Yep. That's really, really cool.
Everybody loves to eat.
They do. That's the one thing everyone has in common, right? Is food.
Absolutely.
You know, and this is why what you do must be a lot of fun.
It is. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I do.
So Melissa, thanks for coming out.
Oh, you're
This
welcome.
has been a real joy, honestly, getting to know a little bit more about you know, your journey here, and I know that there are a lot more stories that you have.
There are.
That my goodness, people are like, I wish they talked about this.
Yeah.
But we've got a limited time on the show here, and we're definitely gonna have to have you back.
Yeah.
Because you're filled with these amazing experiences, and that's what people love when you can pull the curtain a little bit and people can like peer in. Everyone's like Peep Tom, right? Like they want to be able to peer in and be like, "Ooh, what's going on behind the scenes of the kitchen or the TV shows?" They want it. They want that. That's gold.
Yes.
And you've got that gold that people want. So I appreciate you sharing some of it. You know.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you for having me.
So just one more time, and with it, where people can find you if they wanted to be able to follow you in some of your social media or reach out to you about you maybe being a personal chef for them.
Yes, Facebook. Melissa Firpo is the best one. And then, of course, TikTok. That's Healthy Chef 1.
Healthy Chef 1. And then Melissa Firpo, Facebook. If they search you up there, they're going to find you.
Yes.
And then they can reach out to you via those channels.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep.
And I know you do a lot of local stuff. Would you ever, do you do personal chef things outside of the state as well?
I haven't. But I'd be open to it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, because maybe there's someone who's in one of the islands and they're like, we would like to hire her to come do our corporate event, or my family's going on vacation, because your style of cooking for family is probably appealing to a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Or even if they need help with health coaching, that's easy to do also.
Yeah.
Over the phone.
You could do that remotely.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Melissa Firpo, you're amazing. You've got a great stories. Thank you for opening up. This is definitely wasn't supposed to be a Gordon Ramsay tell-all, but it turned into it a little bit. But I love the advice that you gave, and this whole show was littered with amazing golden nuggets. And I think one that really stood out to me was the importance of being intentional about your plan and focused on your goal.
Absolutely.
And you got to prioritize that stuff. That's really, really good advice. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's Melissa. Go find her on TikTok and Facebook. Follow her. She's got really great content as well. And she's blowing up with stuff, doing a lot of really, really great things. Thanks again for coming out.
Thank you.
Guys, until next time, remember, don't fear the process and don't fear grit. We will see you next time. Take care, guys.